So the new trailer for Tears of the Kingdom blew me away. It hit all the right notes and really left me with a warm, fuzzy feeling inside to where I'm completely hyped for this game now. Even if the Switch itself somehow doesn't allow for this game to reach its potential due to the limitations of its hardware, the vision that they seem to be going for based on this latest trailer is enough to capture my imagination. I've always been a Zelda fanboy at heart, but now I'm absolutely not gonna hide it. This looks like it's gonna be the Zelda game we wanted and the Zelda game we all needed as a follow-up to Breath of the Wild. Before I get too far ahead of myself though, let's take a look back, shall we? Zelda has always captured the hearts and minds of gamers since its very first iteration. I mean, think about it. Have you ever met someone who owns a Nintendo that isn't at least a casual fan of the series? Have you ever even met someone who is a gamer that hasn't both played and loved one Zelda game or another at some point in their life? It's a special game to be certain. And what's more impressive still is that Nintendo somehow caught lightning in a bottle and have been able to keep catching it again and again every time they release a new Zelda game. That's not to say all Zelda games are created equal, but none of them are created poorly. Let's talk about my very first experience with Zelda. I don't remember the year exactly, but I remember I got to play Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on my grandmother's Super Nintendo one summer, and just like with this new trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, I was blown away by it. I had never played another game like it at that time, and even today, I desperately want a new game that looks and plays basically like A Link to the Past. Something that I could play with my friends though, preferably. There are games like that sort of, like Stardew Valley or Rogue Heroes, but those are only alike on a surface level. They don't feel like Zelda in how their controls handle and how their monsters are set up, or even the world building and the feel of the story. They just aren't on that level. And that's not to knock those games, but Zelda's shoes are bigger than you might think. They're big shoes to fill for any game. And then one Christmas morning came the Nintendo 64. Now, despite it being very rough around the edges, something that can be said of most consoles around that generation, I love that console, especially when I first got it. And with the arrival of the N64 came a brand new Zelda game, and one that no one was really ready for. An Ocarina of Time. The first 3D game in the series was fantastic, and it destroyed any and all expectations. I remember staying up late with my dad as he watched me progress through the Spirit Temple, and both of us just gushing over how much fun and engaging gameplay that we were having back then. The fact that this game has gotten remasters and ports to other consoles is really proof enough of just how impactful and beloved it was for fans of the franchise. If you haven't played this one, you definitely should. The next game I want to mention was perhaps one of the most divisive Zelda games at the time, with The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker. I loved this GameCube game from the jump. The graphics, they never turned me away, and in fact, I really loved the cel shading and the sailing on the open sea. Wind Waker really invoked that sense of adventure for me back then, and so it too holds a really special place in my heart today. Even when I play something like Sea of Thieves, a completely separate game, I can't help but to think back to Wind Waker. Besides, Toon Link, as he came to be known, is definitely one of my favorite iterations of our beloved green-garbed hero today. There are more Zelda games than I can count on both hands as of 2023, and so I'm gonna gloss over a few, like Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. Never mind the handheld games such as Link's Awakening, Minish Cap, A Link Between Worlds, The Phantom Hourglass, and many more. Nearly every single one of these games is amazing in their own right, but I want to get to the newest game that we received, and the predecessor to the upcoming Tears of the Kingdom. A game that took the Legend of Zelda series to all new heights, and was likely more ambitious than the sequel will be, due to the fact that it took Zelda from a linear, contained game world to a vast, entirely explorable open world setting, with survival elements, more challenging combat, and a different way of both storytelling and problem solving than we'd seen before. Breath of the Wild was like this beautiful reimagining of the first two Zelda games rolled into one. The world being wide open and mostly without barriers, and the narrative being mostly hidden and requiring some degree of both exploration and investigation, invokes that original Zelda feeling on the NES. And the increased challenge and complexity of the combat is also evocative of Link's Adventure, the second Zelda game in the entire series. Breath of the Wild did a wonderful job of evolving the Zelda formula, and while there are still areas that could be improved upon, I think it was necessary for this beloved series of games to get their next upgrade in order to keep fans guessing. This is something I believe the upcoming sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, is going to do as well. Where is the logical next step to go when you've already created a vast world to explore? Well, you dive deep down and open up large caverns and dungeons underneath, and you travel upward to the wide open skies as well. So many of the new features in the Breath of the Wild sequel are interesting to see in a Zelda game. The fact that it appears townspeople might rally to fight off enemies, and the fact that various creatures out in the world will get into fights themselves, as well as the fact that Link can now build various vehicles and structures, really has me excited to see just how far they take it, while still giving us more of that amazing Zelda storytelling. Regardless, I think we can all be excited for Tears of the Kingdom when it launches next month. If you'd like me to cover anything else relating to Zelda as we patiently await this new game's release, just let me know in the comments section below. Be sure to let me know what your favorite Zelda game is too. Which one was your first ever? Which one is your favorite today? Lastly, are you looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom? If so, please like and subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new content each week. That's it for me, friends. See you next time.
Link! You must find me.